Ever imagine like popping a pill that's, perfectly tailored to your own genes. One that just wipes out illness without any of those, nasty side effects.
It does sound kind of sci-fi, doesn't it?
Totally. But that's what's so wild about today's deep dive. We're going straight to the cutting edge, the bleeding edge, really, of drug development, where science fiction is, well, becoming reality.
We're talking AI.
Oh, yeah.
Specifically, a system called Y-Mol that could, honestly, revolutionize how we treat diseases.
Okay, so color me intrigued. What makes Y-Mol so special?
What's fascinating about Y-Mol is that it like bridges this gap, right? It combines the power of artificial intelligence with, all the complexities of drug development.
So it's like, what, a supercomputer that prescribes medicine?
More like a supercomputer that understands the language of medicine.
Okay, now I'm picturing some futuristic lab with robots mixing test tubes and stuff.
I mean, it's not that far off.
But seriously, what does it actually mean for an AI to, like, understand something as, let's face it, complicated as drug development?
You've probably heard of those AI chatbots, right? The ones that can, like, write you a poem or answer a trivia question.
Oh, yeah, those are everywhere these days.
So those chatbots, they use something called large language models, or LLMs.
LLM, got it.
And basically, these LLMs are trained on these massive, and I mean massive amounts, of text data. And that's how they learn to use language, to communicate.
Okay, so it's like giving a computer a crash course in, like, grammar and vocabulary,
Right.
but on this crazy scale.
Exactly. But, and here's the thing, LLMs are amazing at, general knowledge.
Yeah.
But they lack that specialized expertise that you need for fields like, well, drug development.
Right, yeah.
It's kind of like, imagine asking your chatbot buddy to design a skyscraper.
Okay.
They might know what a building is, sure, but they don't have the engineering know-how to actually make it happen. They'd be lost in the weeds.
So how do you get these AI systems to go from writing haikus to, designing life-saving drugs? That's where Y-Mol enters the picture, right?
Precisely. Y-Mol is built upon this really powerful LLM called LAM-A2, but it's been specifically, intentionally trained on this huge data set of, get this, biomedical information. Like, we're talking research publications, clinical trial data, even the chemical properties of different molecules.
Right.
And it's this specialized training that allows it to really understand the relationships between, drugs, genes, diseases, even the human body's response to treatments, all those intricate connections.
So instead of just recognizing words on a page,
Yeah.
Y-Mol actually understands the underlying science.
Well, wait. For example, and this is a big one, Y-Mol can analyze a drug's ability to cross the blood-brain barrier.
Oh, wow, and that's a good thing, right?
It's a huge deal.
Right.
Because, the blood-brain barrier, that's like this protective shield around the brain, and it makes it really, really difficult to develop drugs that can actually treat neurological diseases.
So you're telling me that Y-Mol could actually help us develop treatments for conditions like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, diseases that have stumped researchers for, like, forever.
That's the potential, yeah. And it goes beyond just the blood-brain barrier. Y-Mol can analyze 12 different chemical properties in total. Each of those gives us these crucial insights into a drug's safety and effectiveness.
It's like having a crystal ball that tells you how a drug will behave in the human body before you even test it in a lab.
Exactly.
Okay, my mind is officially blown. This is way beyond just mixing chemicals in a lab. This is using AI to understand the fundamental building blocks of, like, disease in treatment.
Absolutely. And honestly, the implications of this are huge. We're talking about developing drugs faster, making them safer, and even tailoring treatments to individual patients based on their unique genetic makeup. But we're just scratching the surface here, really.
Okay, so we've established that Y-Mol has this, like, incredible ability to analyze mountains of data. And it can understand those crazy complex drug interactions. But how does that actually translate to, developing new treatments? Like, how do we get from data to a pill that someone can actually take?
Okay, think of it like, baking a cake. You need a recipe, the right ingredients, and a good understanding of how all those ingredients interact to create the final product right.
Okay, I'm with you. Delicious analogy.
So drug development, it's kind of similar, just, a tad more complex than your average chocolate chip cookie.
Just a tad.
So where does Y-Mol fit into all of this? Well, it can actually revolutionize each stage of the process.
Oh, wow. Huh.
Let's start with the first step, finding those key ingredients right. Traditionally, scientists, they had to test thousands, sometimes millions of different molecules just to find a few promising candidates for new drugs. It was incredibly tedious.
I bet. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack.
Even worse, it's like searching for a tiny hidden key in a gigantic, messy warehouse.
And I'm guessing that takes time. A lot of it.
Oh, tons. It's incredibly time-consuming. No wonder it takes years, sometimes even decades, to develop new drugs. But Y-Mol's different. It's like a super-powered search engine for drug discovery.
Okay.
It can rapidly sift through these massive databases of molecules. It analyzes their properties and then predicts how they might interact with specific targets in the body.
So instead of searching the entire warehouse, it's like Y-Mol gives scientists a map to the key.
Yeah. Or even better, like imagine having a team of expert lockpicks working around the clock, identifying the most promising keys based on their shape, size, and, potential to unlock the target.
All right, so Y-Mol, it's found us the right key, that promising drug candidate. What happens next? Does it go straight to the pharmacy?
Not quite. This is where the preclinical stage comes in. Remember that crystal ball we talked about?
Yeah, predicting how a drug will behave.
This is where Y-Mol really gets to shine. Before you even synthesize the drug in a lab, Y-Mol can predict crucial factors, things like its absorption rate, how it breaks down in the body, even its potential for toxicity.
So we're basically getting a sneak peek into the future of the drug. We're seeing how it'll behave before it even exists.
You got it. And this predictive power, it's invaluable because it allowed scientists to weed out any potentially dangerous or ineffective drugs super early on.
And that saves time and money, I imagine.
Oh, absolutely. Countless hours and resources that would have been wasted on dead ends.
This is incredible. We're talking about streamlining the entire drug development process. But what about, like, the human element? Because everyone responds to medication differently, right? So how does Y-Mol account for that?
That's a great question. And it brings us to what I think is the most exciting aspect of Y-Mol. Its potential to personalize medicine. Remember how we talked about its ability to analyze vast amounts of data, including all that information about individual patients?
Yeah, it's like having access to someone's entire medical history.
Right. Y-Mol can take all of that information, like a person's genetic makeup, their medical history, even things like their lifestyle factors, and it can predict how they specifically might respond to a particular drug.
So instead of a one-size-fits-all approach, we're moving towards truly personalized treatments.
Exactly. It's like having a team of medical experts analyzing your unique situation and then designing a treatment plan just for you.
Okay, now we're really talking about next-level healthcare. Imagine going to the doctor and knowing that the medication they prescribe is almost guaranteed to work and, without any horrible side effects.
That's the promise of personalized medicine. And Y-Mol, it could be the key to unlocking it.
This is mind-blowing. We've gone from, searching for needles in haystacks to having AI design personalized treatment plans.
It's a really exciting time to be following drug development. And yeah, Y-Mol is still in its early stages, but the potential benefits, it's undeniable. But we're just scratching the surface here, really.
Okay, so we've talked about Y-Mol revolutionizing how we discover and personalize treatments, but what's next? What's on the horizon for this, AI trailblazer?
Well, get this. Imagine a world where we don't just treat diseases right. We prevent them from even happening in the first place. That's the kind of future Y-Mol could help create.
Whoa, hold on a sec. We went from AI drug developers to, disease prediction. How is that even possible?
Remember how we were talking about Y-Mol analyzing massive amounts of data, including all that patient information?
Yeah.
So imagine feeding it even more, like data on lifestyle choices, environmental factors, maybe even early warning signs that, your doctor wouldn't even catch.
So we're talking about Y-Mol connecting the dots between what our genes, our environment, our overall health, all to predict potential problems before they even start.
Exactly. It's like a personalized health crystal ball. It can help you make those proactive decisions, really stay ahead of the curve. But it doesn't stop there. The paper even hints at Y-Mol working at the cellular level.
The cellular level. Okay, now you've officially lost me. We've gone from molecules to cells. I need you to explain it to me like I'm back in high school biology.
Okay, think of it this way. Right now, Y-Mol is like, say, a master chef. They understand the ingredients, how they combine to create an amazing dish, right? But imagine if that chef could also control the behavior of every single molecule in those ingredients.
So we're talking about insane precision, like being able to tweak the flavor at a molecular level.
Exactly. But instead of flavors, we're talking about targeting specific cells in the body, delivering drugs with pinpoint accuracy to, attack the bad cells while leaving the good ones completely untouched.
So instead of carpet bombing the body with medication, we're using a scalpel.
Exactly. This could be a game changer for diseases like, let's say, cancer. Where minimizing damage to healthy cells, that's everything. And it even goes beyond just treating existing conditions. Imagine using that same cellular level understanding to, like, develop gene therapies. Therapies that correct the faulty genes right at the source.
So we're talking about, what, rewriting the code of life to prevent diseases from ever happening.
It's an exciting time to be alive, that's for sure. And look, Y-Mol, it might not have all the answers just yet, but the research, the development, it's happening right now. It's paving the way for a future where disease, it's less of a threat, where we all live longer, healthier lives.
It's pretty amazing to think we're just at the beginning of all of this, the beginning of AI-driven healthcare. Well, on that note, I want to thank you for joining us for this incredible journey into the future of medicine. It's been, honestly, mind-blowing. Until next time, keep asking questions and never stop exploring.